Hey, you, yes. You.
If you were here yesterday, Jonathan from Instant. Make sure you're following us on all the socials, all the stuff. Welcome. Well, you've been here since when? We've been here since Wednesday.
Since Wednesday. It's time to leave.
How has it been? How has the VidCon been so far?
Amazing. I'm like not the guy anymore, so it's really nice. I can like walk around, and people are like, I think he's somebody, but they don't know. It's great. Oh my gosh.
You're somebody to that guy. There you go.
Nice.
Well, you've been doing, this is going to be, I don't want to age you. You've been doing this a long time.
Dude, I was thinking about it. Literally last night when I was laying in bed, I was like, this has like been a career.
Yeah.
Like a full-blown career. Like almost 10 years.
I imagine when you started, did it help you like what went through your head? Like, oh, I'm just going to throw this kind of some stuff up on this thing. 9 years later, did it had to have like helped you develop your sound and who you are a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, for anybody out there trying to do it, if you're doing it because you want to be famous or you want to be successful, I think your head is in the wrong place. Because for me, it was like, I just wanted to do it because I love to do it, and then it worked. And I was like, holy moly.
But it's a waiting game. It's a marathon. It's
the
not
definition of patience is long suffering.
And that's
so
what
you have to be very patient.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, what has been, because that leads me into this, is when you're doing a YouTube channel, I mean, it is like we said, it is a patience game to get anywhere, to break out. Music is the same thing. So you're like fighting two different beasts. What has that been like, trying to combine those like two worlds?
I think every day it's a challenge to figure out, am I a entertainer, am I a YouTuber, or am I a musician? And trying to thread those and make it balanced is like been the 8 years of my life. It's crazy.
Is the answer all three? You have to do all three?
I don't know the answer, man. I'm still trying to figure it out.
We're still both waking up from last night.
Yes.
Your channel has like over 500 million or near 500 million views.
Yes.
Are you a numbers guy? Do you go crazy, especially with music videos? I know, that's people watch that number tick up or not, and how does that affect you?
So I attached my identity and who I was to numbers for like 3 or 4 years. And so if the numbers were up, I was like, yo, let's party. Hi, man. And then if they were down, I was so depressed. And I've learned that I'm like, as a personality type, I'm such a feeler. So I'm like a 93% feeler, and then my logic kicks in. So if I'm high, I'm like the life of the party for days. But then once something doesn't perform like you want it to, it's like, it'll ruin you. So I've had to detach. There was that one moment in my life where I stopped following anybody on Instagram. I was following literally my cousin and the Bible app. And that was it. And I was like, for like a whole year, because I needed like to just regain like what was actually important and valuable, and just to ground myself again. And then I realized numbers actually don't define me, and there are people in my life, in my world, who love me for not the numbers. Because you come to this place, and it actually triggers me a lot, because it's like, people are like, I don't know, they're so drawn in by numbers and success and all this stuff. And I get it. I've been there. Yeah, I have been there. And it's hard when you're attached to that. So the answer is, I like looking at numbers, but I don't like letting them define who I am. But it does show you like where you are. So it's important.
It doesn't let you think, oh, this song just was terrible, because like only this, it only did this amount of views.
Yeah. For some of my favorite songs have gotten like, 200,000 views. And relative to the other stuff, that's not a lot. But like for me, I was so grateful and thankful that I at least put it out. Yeah. So now I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah. How has being on YouTube and putting out music there affected how you release music? Because I know, even now, people sometimes just put out the singles until they have enough. Some people want to drop a full entire album when they have it. And that's just on streaming, and that's just for regular, How has YouTube changed how you approach putting out a song?
So I was the guy who was like, I want to be signed to a major label. And I signed to a major label. I did a record. and it was cool, and it was like a bucket list thing. But like literally in the last 2 years, everything has been so confusing, and people don't really know. Like you'll have, like OneRepublic just decided they're gonna release singles, and they're never gonna release an album ever again. And I was like, they got it, they understand it. And in the last year, I was like, I'm just gonna do a song and release it, a song and release it, a song and release it. And then eventually that might compile into a record. That's how it works for me. Dude, 2 years from now, we might not even have the internet. Go back to tapes or something.
And how has, I mean, streaming's the same way for you guys. It's some people, there's a love-hate relationship with streaming.
So for me, okay, this is crazy. Like, crazy. The YouTube thing was my main thing, and I was super consistent. And then I looked over and saw it translate on to Spotify. So like last month, I had like 1.5 million listeners, but 9 million streams on Spotify throughout my catalog. And so that's been a saving grace for me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can still do art, because that pays the bills. Plus, I have amazing like supporters through Patreon. So every time I release a video, I get kind of a consistent paycheck. So it's been nice.
Right. Has putting your music out there in this kind of way changed your sound, or changed who you were and changed the way you approach music, or have you stayed true to like, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do?
See, I don't think I ever got to that place. I'm still finding it.
Really?
Like being like, okay, so and it changed, because I love hip hop, I love country, I love R&B, I love acoustic music, and my one consistency has been acoustic guitar and my voice. But like I want to do like a rap song, and I'm like over here, and I'm like, what? So like as I've gotten older and like kind of more focused, I'm like, what is my sound? Still figuring it out, man. I still got like years ahead of me to figure that out, though.
Is that scary, or you think that's
I'm excited.
You're fine with it?
I'm fine with it. I mean, it is what it is, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
And if you're able to do it full time and still figure it out,
I'm at a place,
why not?
Yeah, I'm at a place now where it's like I don't have to hustle as hard, so I can make decisions like from a place of peace, versus like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I think when you do that, it's like you lose. That's what VidCon reminds me of sometimes. It's like I forget who I am. It's like I gotta do this. Look at them. It makes me crazy.
Has having so many social platforms just driven you insane on how to put out music? Because it's not just putting out a music video on YouTube. Like, you've got to chase it down everywhere. Like, music is a hustle.
Music is a hustle. That should be a song title. That's all I have to say on that. It is a hustle, yeah. Some people strike gold, you know? And some people, it takes them years. So, but I found it's been like the common thread of success is consistency and quality.
Yeah.
So, and that's hard to balance sometimes.
Well, you've put out, I mean, people can go to your channel and it's things you've shared and they're pretty personal. And most songs people put out, it's going to be really personal if it's not a cover.
Right.
Is there any line where something seems too personal to write or sing about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
There's a song, I haven't released a handful of those because they were almost like my therapy sessions in song. And it's like there's a song I wrote called Mannequin Dad. And it's really kind of a punch to somebody I love, so I haven't necessarily released that one.
And that will never, you just know that that's just what that's for. That's a personal release and let it be.
I think when the issues are solved and there's peace there, then I can't release it now. It would be unfair. It would be unfair.
I was gonna say, there's probably times when you put something out and then things change. Put something out about a relationship, things change. Yeah. Is there a, like, you just gotta let it live with what you put out there the first time?
Okay, ask the question one more time.
Like if you put out a personal song that's about a relationship with someone else, I mean, how do you deal with the fact that relationship then could change down the road?
Oh, I think it's a moment in time, you know?
Yeah.
I think you got to capture it then.
All right.
And otherwise, you'll never put anything out because life's always changing.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, you have a song. It's called "If I'm Being Honest."
Yes.
So I'm going to play a game with you called "If I'm Being Honest."
Oh, jeez.
So if you're being honest, who is an artist that you like fan out over immediately?
Taylor Swift, always.
Really?
I would marry
why?
Taylor Swift without even knowing her. I will take her last name, and you can call me Tyler Swift, and I'll be all right.
All right. If you're being honest, what's the one YouTube video that you would want to go back and redo?
My very first video.
Which was what?
It's like Windows Movie Maker. It's a collab of all these songs. It like spins in circles. It's awful.
Is that the one with the beanie? Were you wearing a beanie? Is it like
I was wearing a beanie. Yeah.
It's like old 90s looking style, like editing.
But it's kind of cool, you know. It's capped. It's like that's one thing I'd be like, I probably shouldn't brand myself with that guy. But it's part of it. It's part of the process.
All right. If you're being honest, what's one song someone else put out that you wish you would have done?
Ooh. When your legs don't work like they used to before. That song. What was that song called? What? Thinking Out Loud.
There you go. And then I'm gonna one up you. If you're being honest, what's one song someone put out that you think you would have done better?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. That one's tough. That one's tough.
That one's tough.
Yeah. Every song ever. No, I'm kidding.
Everything.
Everything.
Are you a bigger fan of like playing a smaller venue, or would you have these like ideas of like every musician has this idea of like, oh, I want that stadium, but then there's a lot of people who like that just intimate, like
okay, this is crazy.
troubadour style, like LA, like tiny.
Yeah, so I started doing like bar shows, and just it's kind of sweaty and hot, and people are throwing things, and it was just I love that environment. It's so intimate. You can see faces, you can see people singing. And then I think right now, it's like the first time in my life I feel like I'm prepared and able and capable to play big shows because I believe in what I do. But before that, I was so insecure.
Is that something you want? I feel like...
Oh. To be honest, dude, if I'm being honest, I don't know the answer to that. Man. I don't know the answer to that. Good question.
And I know everybody always asks collab questions and who do you want to collab? I mean, you collab with a bunch of the guys on like, but is there somebody that we would never expect that you would really love to like get a hold of?
Yes.
And not Taylor Swift.
No, I mean, as far as I would love to at one point find a female who I just totally believe in as an artist and do a duo and like original duo and then tour on that. But I have to be like, I can't date her. That's the problem. So I have to figure out how to set that boundary.
How to collab without dating your
your
co-singer?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How often and this is kind of we talk about this all the time. How often do you read through your kind of comments? How often do you read what fans are saying? Because there's a fine line between reading what they're loving about it and like getting that feedback, and also somebody feeling like they know better than you.
Yeah, that one's tricky. So I used to be. Oh, this is crazy. It's all about just growing up, man. It's all about like hitting your head on this wall, finding success in this way, and figuring out what works for you. Because I used to be so like, again, a feeler, right? So if someone commented, "Oh, we don't like that. Why are you changing?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, I gotta please this type of person. When then there's a whole bunch of comments that are like, "This is great. We love it. We love the direction you're headed." And I'm like, I'll do that too. And so it's like, just rips you to shreds. So recently, I'm just thankful for the people who are there. I read through the comments, and I comment back, and just thankful that I actually have this job still. Like, it shocks me. Like, you guys are here. This is crazy to me. But you guys should, like, clap for yourselves. But you're probably not here for me, but at the same time, too, you're here for me. So, that's cool.
So who is it? So besides Claudia, who is it that you turn to when you're writing something out? Who will give you the like punch in the gut if you need it? Like, this is terrible, or this doesn't sound great. Who is that person that you know you can turn to get that? I got a friend.
He's a rapper, hip hop artist. His name's Epic, and he's like one of my best friends. I'm like, bro, what do you think of this? And if he's He's super emotional too. And if he goes like, woo, I'm like, it's good. And if he doesn't, he's like, it's all right. I'll be like, it's not good.
You're like, damn it.
It's like yeah. And then my mom too, she's crazy with her ears. She's just like, I really like this. I'm like, that's real. She knows music though, so.
What was the one, can you think back the one song, maybe one video that you put out that then you knew you had something, that you had a following, that
yeah.
it clicked? Do you remember what it was?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so back in the day when I feel like an old geezer. Back in the YouTube days of 2013, when life was easy. So they had the front page thing for like independent artists. Like I could put out a video, and if it got enough love, it would go to the front page. And if that was on the front page, you could put out another video, and all the traffic would flow to that one, and then you could hit the front page. So these videos were getting, 500,000, 1 million, 1.5 million, like 2 days. And I was just like, woo! And so, but I remember, and it was really interesting to me, I put out this song, I wrote this original song, it was really hard for me to release, it was called The Rescue, and I had a bunch of my fans create kind of just transparent, honest, what they struggle with in their life, and we just kind of created a video. And I put that out very strategically, and it didn't hit the front page, it didn't get what I thought, but the next day it had just over 500,000 views, and the comments were crazy. And then I remember reading, when I knew it was special, was when there were a handful of people, it was crazy, a handful of people, like, I was gonna take my life, and I saw The Rescue, and I knew I wasn't alone, and now I'm here. And I was like, I'm like, this is why I do what I do. This is why this song existed, far beyond me. So that was cool.
So the stories that people, when you hear back from that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was and yeah, it's amazing. Amazing.
All right, tell us what is secretly coming up that we can talk about.
I think I'm going to be a country artist. like the next Sam Hunt.
Just
I will be 38 years old at one point in my life and be in my prime at country. So I got time,
So just experiment.
Yeah.
You got time.
Pop country.
You got time, and you're on a platform that lets you do it.
And then when I'm 45, I'll move into the Christian worship.
Just keep them guessing.
Just keep. Yeah. Anyways.
So let's come back to that question. What is the one song you think you could have done better? I want to know what this is.
Okay, I don't know if there's a song called "Somewhere with You" by Kenny Chesney, and I did a version of it. I thought his song was really great, but it wasn't done well. But that's the truth. Anyways, that's all. So
We'll
I
leave
redid
it. We'll leave it be.
how I thought it should sound.
All right, well, before we go, we've been doing this with a lot of people. We're gonna do this TMI jar. I'm gonna give you like a few picks.
Do I just go in?
They're
like
not
this?
terrible. Just go ahead and pick them in.
Like mixing around.
Mix them up.
What's your most embarrassing school memory? Oh my gosh.
God.
Oh my gosh. I was a freshman in high school, and I was working out in the gym, whatever. And my brother is 2 years older than me, and he was working out in the gym as well. And these two beautiful sophomores walk in, and I was like, oh dang. Put down the weights. I go over to him. I'm like, stumbling over my words. My brother pulls my pants down. He grabs my boxers, and it's a really cold day. And then I'm still scarred from that. So there you go.
That's awful.
Do I keep going?
Go again.
All right.
Do a couple more. We got time.
TMI. Would you rather find a soulmate who your friends hate, or stay single forever with loyal friends? Dude, that sucks. I don't think I can answer this question, because what? I think at this moment in my, wow. I'm not going to answer that. That's a really good question. Gosh.
We've gotten a few people with that question.
Would you rather Netflix and chill or go on a fancy date? I would definitely rather go on a fancy date. But a fancy date to me is not like dressing up. It's like, let's go to like
Taquito Mas.
like, yeah, ABC tacos or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, all right.
All right.
What are 3 things you would, excuse me, what 3 things would you bring to a deserted island? This girl right here,
Okay.
this girl right here, and this girl right here. Sorry. I'm kidding, but not really. Okay.
I'll do a couple more.
That was the worst answer. I hope this is not being streamed. Have you ever fangirled over anyone?
What are we talking?
I think I fangirl every day.
Do you?
Like, I'm in the hotel, and I'm like, wow, you're so famous. And I'm in the elevator, I'm like, should I talk to them? I did that today. It's crazy. All right, one more.
This is it.
One more?
Yep.
Who was your first crush? Her name was Jocelyn Marsh. And she was I kissed the back of her hair.
You kissed the back of her hair?
I did. I wanted to lean over for a kiss in 5th grade. And she turned to talk to her friend, and I kissed the back of her hair. And that's all we ever did. And then she broke my heart. She moved schools. And I was sad. I literally cried for like 4 days.
You'll always have that kiss.
I'll always have that kiss.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's been a journey with
It's a journey.
VidCon. It's been
Thank you guys.
These last few days.
Yeah.
Tyler, you guys.
Appreciate it.